All right, we'll let Danielle start us off. Go ahead, Danielle.
Good morning, buddy. How is Mel doing this morning?
He's doing better. I just spoke to him moments ago. He feels good. He's getting some treatment in the training room. He's playable today, but he's going to continue to get some care from our medical staff, but he's available, feeling better.
Good. And who is pitching on Tuesday? Do you know yet?
Herman Marquez.
Okay, thank you.
Patrick Saunders.
Hi, buddy. How are you this morning?
Well, good morning.
Just a follow-up. I know you guys addressed Jon Gray yesterday a little bit, but when a guy has the cramps as he did yesterday, and I know Herman had it a couple seasons ago, is it strictly like a one-time thing usually, or is it something long-term that you need to make sure you alter their diet, et cetera?
I think, for me, my understanding, it's a one-time thing. I think you have to stay on top of, obviously hydration, nutrition. Those are the things that, we talk about with our strength guys and our medical staff. And, I'm not, I'm not equipped to speak medically on this, but, maybe just the way the weather's been here, and maybe a better question for John Patrick, what, he put in his body, or how much or how little going into yesterday's game might have a factor. I'm not sure, but I would think it's just a one-time thing.
And I know you mentioned,
and obviously he'll be aware of this as he approaches his, his coming starts, to ensure that, he's fueled up, so, cramping doesn't give him the best chance not to cramp again.
and I know you talked to folks last night a little bit about this, as well as John did. You were very complimentary about his mix of pitches last night. In addition to the fastball and slider, was the change one of the pitches last night that you really came away pleased with from John's performance?
No doubt about it. I thought that his change was as good as I've seen it. He got numerous outs, some swings, swing throughs, some foul balls on the full side to the lefties that they were out front. So I thought his change was outstanding. I mean, now again, if he can build on that as we move through this year, that'd be great. But that was probably the best mix of four pitches John has shown, since I've been here.
And one more for me on John. I know that slider, when it's working, as it was last night, is really effective on righties. But adding that changeup, particularly to lefties, that's really another bull in the arsenal, so to speak, for John, right?
No
Especially
doubt,
against
no
lefties.
doubt. For sure, it's a weapon that last night, just the quality of it. It looks like a fastball, and it's coming in at 86, 87 miles an hour, which on average is 6 or 7 miles or 8 less than his fastball. So it's great at disrupting timing, and that's what we saw last night. So again, he worked on it quite a bit this spring. Now we just need it to carry over through the starts as we go through this season.
Great, thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Go ahead, Jenny.
Hey, buddy, I just wanted to clarify something from yesterday. I know you updated Brendan Rodgers, but is he here at the training site down at game day, or is he still in Arizona?
He's in Arizona.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thomas Harding.
Yes, buddy. What went into the decision to go with Herman on Tuesday? I know sometimes going into the season, you want those guys to have the extra day. What was the thought on going with Herman?
I think a couple things. I think it bolsters our bullpen by having Chi-Chi in the pen today and moving forward through those games in Arizona. And it keeps Herman on regular rest. I agree. I think it's anytime you can give a starter an extra day's rest, I think that's beneficial. And we'll try to do that when we think it's prudent. But I think from where we are now, probably more important to keep what we feel are two long men in our bullpen with Chi-Chi and Julius.
So does this keep it in line where you'll need that fifth starter, I think, on the 10th? Is that when you would go to the fifth guy?
Is that Saturday? Saturday?
Yes.
Yes, I mean, we could potentially move Chi-Chi up depending on the next few days. And we'll address that here in the next 2 or 3 days. But, you know, we definitely will need Chi-Chi this week, sometimes either in, you know, potentially that last game here against Arizona or in San Francisco.
Thanks, buddy.
Tracy, go ahead.
Buddy, with all the COVID stuff, when you're playing the Dodgers and Davies over there, do you have any time to interact with him, or is that pretty much still off limits?
No, I think with, we spoke yesterday early in the afternoon, during our batting practice. He was, out in front of their dugout, and I was by the batting cage, so I popped on over and said hello. We were both wearing masks. We were probably not 6 feet apart, but yet I think the mask wearing part of that was in place. And I guess I can say this, Trace. I've been vaccinated, and so is Dave.
Okay, I just didn't know how much it was cutting into the friendship life that you guys, different managers
Well,
have.
I think there's interaction between managers, coaches, managers, players. Greetings. Prior to a game, I know that it's early in the afternoon. If you come in, proximity of a friend or a colleague, you usually extend your pleasantries.
Thank you, sir.
Nick Groke.
Yeah, hey buddy, since you kind of mentioned this, can you explain how exactly you guys are using the alternate site this year? Are they really using the field in Parker, and is it basically just like AAA spring training kind of? And do you have players that you might need to call on closer to you? Like how, I'm not looking for like a huge thing, but just how is it working, kind of basically, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, well, it's sort of basically how it worked last year, where we had our alternate group here in the morning at Coors Field. They worked out when we were at home. They worked out at 9:30, 10 in the morning for a couple hours, and then they left the facility, and then we came in, late, for a regular night, which would, with some of the protocols when we could arrive, there was always a gap between those guys and us. So now, those fellows are down in Parker, doing basically what the alternate group did here last year. That was, inter-squad games, batting practice, infield practice, baseball activities, in amongst themselves. So it's the same sort of scenario.
And then so in May, then they all go to Albuquerque and start the season, and then it's all normal basically. Okay.
When the minor league season starts, those guys will go down.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Or whoever makes that team out of that alternate side, and there'll be some guys out of that group that will go to AA.
Gotcha. Cool. Thank you.
Owen Perkins.
Yeah, buddy. Do you expect at this point, is there much question about Jon making his next start?
No, I spoke to Jon earlier today. He feels fine. That start is, in my mind, is not in jeopardy.
Okay. And you mentioned the possibility of a fifth starter coming in to play earlier than Saturday, if I understood you correctly. Is everybody healthy? Is that figuring into that?
Everybody's healthy, and just be whether we wanted to give somebody an extra day's rest or not.
Okay, thanks.
And Patrick, want to finish this off?
Buddy, this is probably a very sports writer-ish question, but I'm going to answer it anyway. Looking at your April schedule out of the gate, of course, starting with the Dodgers, it's pretty salty. Do you even peek at it at the schedule? Do you look at like a month's worth of games and think, wow, this is quite a test for us, or is that just something fans and sports writers do?
I think it's mostly fans and sports writers, but I do peek at it. But, you know, I focus pretty much on the short term, Patrick, as far as the long term. I think that, you know, I don't look at it like, well, that's a tough stretch. You know, those are, you know, quality teams. You know, every big league game you play, you know, is a tough one. It's a challenge, it's a test. So I don't look at it that way. I know that, and you really can't overlook teams. You can't do anything in that regard. I really truly look at the short term. You know, today's game, you know, this series, and you know, the upcoming series or two, you know, I'll look forward to, and you know, we'll start some planning as far as, you know, potential lineups or days off and those sorts of things, and how our rotation looks. But we don't get too far ahead over, I'd say, we don't get over 10 days extended, I think, in our planning.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you post game.